Alicia, Monroe has a long civil rights history with lots of people fighting for equality, but this story is about one of the biggest cases right here in Union County, and it's one you probably haven't heard of.
Mittie Bell. I have proof. It's not a fairy tale. It's nothing made up.
It's not a place for fairy tales, and sometimes endings here aren't happy. But on the top floor of the old Union County Courthouse in Monroe, the unexpected happened.
I had to come to the conclusion that the only answer is love. That this is a love story.
And around 100 years later, evidence was found proving that what took place here defied time and expectations.
It's unheard of.
Rachel Massey's family helped start this historic African-American church in Marvin, about 20 minutes away from Monroe.
I knew Aunt Georgia and I knew Uncle Pat.
Many of her relatives are buried here.
He was born 1926 and he just passed 2019.
But this story is about all kinds of family.
Many of them should be around this area.
Some by birth.
She was my great-great-grandmother.
And others by choice.
Back then, you talk about 1920.
Mittie Bell Ross Houston is Rachel's great-great-grandmother. And in 1921, 33-year-old Mittie Bell was sitting in this courtroom in Monroe.
They said she was crazy, that the black people had brainwashed her.
The woman who had raised her, Maggie Ross, had just passed away and left Mittie Bell and her dad, Bob, 800 acres of land.
More than 100 cousins sued to break the will because they said if these women left their land to black people, they were therefore incompetent to make a will.
It's a court case journalist and author Gene Stowe has been researching for the past 30 years. The story of how the richest white woman in Union County willed her land to her chosen family, who were African American.
The first sentence I wrote about this story for The Observer was, "A rare love rooted a freed slaves' children in Marvin more than 100 years ago."
And it's at that same courthouse.
And that particular photograph was labeled a different name.
Where evidence used during the trial was recently found by Linda Vert, who was cataloging some old boxes when she noticed something didn't fit.
Where did you find that? And we just all kind of went berserk right at the same time when we realized what we really had.
A picture from the late 1800s of Maggie, her sister, and Mittie Bell, together as a family in front of their house that's still standing to this day.
She have a picture. She was fortunate for white women to be able to have a photo that we can see.
By 1924, the case had been tried twice, and both times, 2 all-white juries upheld Maggie's will.
We can come and say the story is true, it's not made up. I can show you that my family still live on the land.
There are all kinds of stories. Some of sadness, some of triumph. But this one is one of love. So Rachel says the family lost or sold a lot of the land over the years, if you think of what they went through, since that was about 100 years ago. But some of the family still live there, and they are so proud of their legacy. Alicia?
Maureen, thank you so much.